This is going to be a short little tutorial on creating these flyer, the Christmas flyer thing. We're actually going to be using the text alignment and text wrapping options in this assignment. So let's go back to Canvas and get started. So we're going to go back to Canvas and we're going to actually download all three of these little files here. So you're going to click on Merry Christmas. Yep. And you're going to click on tree and then click on text here. So basically we're going to download all three of those. So we're going to download this one. Then we click on tree and download that as well. And then click on text and download that as well. So you actually click on this one to make sure the text is actually open. It's open up in Illustrator. Go back to Canvas or Chrome, sorry, and download the tree. Go back to Chrome and make sure you've got the Merry Christmas. So you should have all three of these open in Illustrator. So text, tree, and then Merry Christmas. So what we're going to do is I start with create a new file to actually, those are the things we're going to actually import in. So these are presets here. So we're doing the print preset. So then it has some different sizes depending on the print you're printing out. So we're going to click on A4 and we're going to call it text wrapping. Yep. And then we're going to leave all the default settings. We're not going to change anything. So I'm going to click on create. And then it gives them a blank file. This is called, I guess, our pages, but in Illustrator, we call it artboards. Okay, so we're going to start with the Merry Christmas here. I'm going to click on the selection tool because it grabs the entire objects. And I'm going to click both of these objects. And I click on edit, copy, and then go back to my blank file that I'm starting with and building. And I click on edit and paste. Now these two images should be at the top here. And then what we're going to do is actually, and you see in the controller, just make sure that everything that looks the same again is the same as me. You click on workspace and it changes classic here. And if everything doesn't look the same, you actually click on reset essentials, which I'm doing here. And then click on view, make sure the smart guides is checked, everything else is turned off. So make sure show to grid and snap to grid is turned off. Okay. So we're going to select, doesn't matter. So select both of these here. They all need to be both centered. You can actually center here in the control bar, or you can center it for your paragraph and the properties panel. So it's going to be centered here. Both of them are centered, and both of them need to be aligned. You're going to actually make sure this is aligned to artboard is selected. Make sure artboard is selected there. So you're going to do it up here too. Make sure aligned to artboard. Okay, and this is going to be centered. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to text right here and click on the T tool. So we're going to highlight all this text, and then we're going to click on edit and copy that text. Right. So then we're going back to our document that we're creating, and then we're just create a text box. It's going to have a lot of different random text in there, just placeholder text. So you can click on the backspace key and delete all that stuff. And now we're going to click on edit up here and then paste. It's going to paste in all my text there. So there's some options I need to do. Okay. Now what we're going to do is actually, this needs to have two columns, just like our example here. It has two columns of text and it kind of has a little space and kind of wraps around our object there. Okay. So this one is going to be area type options. So you click on type and now click on area type options. Okay. Our area type options, we're going to be set to 510 right here for the width. And the rows is 1. So span is 600, right? And so the height here is 600. So we're going to have two columns here. And our span is set to 240 for our height there. And our gutter needs to be set to 30. So it should kind of look like this there. And then you can click on this preview. And then I should click OK here. Okay. And now this should actually be centered to artboard as well. So again, make sure it hits the center to artboard. And then we're going to sit there. And then we're just going to move that up just a little bit. So we're going to click on this and move it up a little bit. We'll fix it later. Nextly, so now you actually have got your text, the Merry Christmas centered and everything. So now we're going to go to a tree. So we're going to grab selection tool again, and we're going to grab the entire object there and click on edit and copy and text wrapping, and I click on edit and paste. Now I want my text to kind of go around the object. So I need to click on the object here, and I need to click on text wrap, and I need to click on make. Then I need to go back to object and my text wrapping options needs to be set to 10 points there. Now I click OK, and it kind of increases the space there. But now I need to click on this. The star doesn't need the yellow, and it's the little yellow here. So there's things I can do with this color here. I need to set that to the fill color. So I can do fill or the fill here. So there's different options. So there's different places you actually can choose fill. And so we're going to actually go down to the default swatches, and I click on my prints since we're printing out. So the print. And so my fill color is going to be this yellow. So I guess you see there's a C0, M10, Y95, K0. That's your print for yellow. Okay. And then stroke here needs to be set to nothing. Okay. Then if I try and grab, I'm going to use that yellow star, it means the same color as the mirror kind of thing. So if I click on this, it's going to grab the entire object there. Okay, so it's going to grab the entire object. And so what I need to do, and also I can do that as I center that right there, is instead of grabbing the entire object, I'm going to grab the direct selection tool. So I'll deselect everything by just clicking the open area. So I'll click on the direct selection tool, and it's me select objects within a group. So that's what the great thing about direct selection tool. It grabs specific things within a group or parts of an object. So I'll click on this little star here, and then this is a quick way to do it. So then click on this. I want to grab the exact same color with the eyedropper tool and click on that Mary, and it's going to be exact same color. So I don't have to go through other settings there. Direct selection tool. Now, deselect. I can just click off in the gray area, or click on the deselect here. It's gray now. It deselects it. Now I click on the direct selection tool to click on this little, I guess the wooden part, the tree trunk. Now I click on this little brown here, C25 M40 Y65 K0, right? So it grabs that. And then I actually need the last little thing. I click on the selection tool, and I'm click on this type tool. So the Christmas right here, change just the Christmas right here, and then impact needs to be set to 100. Okay, click enter. So now this tool that we're going to actually use when we want to actually change one specific character, then click on the touch type tool right here, and I'm going to grab this C, and it's actually going to kind of focus in on that one character so we can enter that. So I need to change that to type in the words Arial, and I'm going to go into Arial Black right here. And then I need to change that to, it says to 140 pixels, right? So 140 pixels there. Okay. Yeah. And then I'll click on this here. Looks good there. Oh, I can drag this down, I guess, a little bit. So it's too spaced out right there. It's in place right here. And again, we just make sure that's in the center. Okay. And then like this one, we can make there that's in the center as well. The last little bit I need to do is actually this right here is text, so that way I can edit the text. But once I have the text set, sometimes I need to actually create an object so I can modify the text to kind of choose it around. So you can click on this type right here, and then actually create outlines. Create outlines. Right now, as this, I can't actually edit. I can't move it around and kind of change the text kind of thing. So what I need to do is, it doesn't have long handlebars, so the handlebars out here, and then click on type up here and create outlines. So now actually there's all these little handlebars that actually create the little type there. So I can deselect by just select and then deselect here. So it's going to deselect it. I need to zoom in, and I'm going to modify these a little bit for this example, for this exercise. And click on the eye, and then click on the anchor point. Okay, and then I'm going to drag that down. So it's really important to actually, this little smart thing is telling me if I actually, same actually click off of here. If I click on the eye and I just start dragging that, I just click on it once and start dragging it, it's going to drag the entire object. So I'm going to undo that. Okay. I need to actually click on the object. Now click second time, just click once on the anchor point to select it. Now I can click and drag. So you actually click 3 times down. And dragging it down. Doesn't really matter what it looks like there. And then move over to the T. Click on the T. Now click and release on that anchor point. Now I can click and drag that anchor point and drag to that specific anchor point. Now click on this anchor point and select it. Now I can click and drag that anchor point. Okay. Now click on the M, and there's the last thing we're doing is actually just changing this anchor point. And so it's selecting it. So now I tell the computer I want to move this specific anchor point and drag that straight down the anchor points. Now I can click on the anchor point and release. Now I can click and drag that down. Okay. So now I just click on view and then fit artboard window, so I can see everything like there. Okay. So I've got my text in 2 columns there, and actually I need to make sure this, I didn't go over this before, but this text should be it's just fine with the last line, the line centered. That should look right there. Okay. And so this kind of like creating this flyer. So it'll look like this, and now we can actually save that now. Save as. And we're going to, when we're saving it to our Creative Cloud, we talked about in our bell ringer, it's really helpful in collaboration of different people. But if you're saving it for own purposes, you can save it to your computer if you need to collaborate. So text wrapping, then click save, and OK. Now I can actually go back to Canvas to the assignment here, and then I'll go ahead and turn it in. Okay. So click start and choose. Now I actually choose my text wrapping assignment, and it's going to be Illustrator file and turn it in. Okay. Thanks for watching.